like these. So let's raise the big question then. Our second talking point tonight. Rajdhani accident. Can the Modi government bring the railways back on track? And to answer that question, here in our studios, JP Batra, former chairman, Railway Board, Sudhanshu Mittal, representing the BJP today, Shiv Gopal Mishra, General Secretary, All India Railways Men's Federation, and Dr. S.J. Garg, he is the President, Passenger and Traffic Relief Association. Welcome to all of you. Sudhanshu Mittal, let me first begin with you. Throughout the election campaign, we saw Mr. Modi gave a lot of emphasis on the railway sector. He said that railways will be the engine of a new age Indian economy. Is the BJP really going to treat railway safety with the kind of seriousness that it really deserves? I mean, to the extent that you have 1.4 lakh posts vacant, sir, in the Department of Railway Safety itself.
The safety element of railway has less to do with the vacancies, more to do with technology. The biggest problem I see is that tracks. The old tracks, as you rightly said, the weldings of these tracks are cracking. And unless these tracks are upgraded, there is a serious safety issue involved. Signaling is a major issue. Anti-collision devices are a major issue. Fire detection systems in railways. You know, these are all measures which should have been taken long back, but I'm not getting into history. No, forget it. The government of the day never took it, forget it. What is important is we have promises to keep because we have made promises. And we are aware that these promises have to be met with. This is a priority area. Railway safety and railway suvidhaएं. Suraksha or suvidha. You know, these are the priority areas. With this, we are looking at the future as well.
But see, sir, it's very interesting that, you know,
here,
Mr. Mittal, you know, you've given us a nice little analogy and a nice theory of what the BJP will do. But look at the kind of statements which are being made. And that's my problem. You have your home minister, your party president, who says there is a possibility of a sabotage there. You have the railways minister who goes there and says, no, there is no sabotage there. Now, you are talking about a vision for the future, and here you have a scenario where your ministers are ultimately only interested in ensuring that there is no one who's raising fingers against the posts that they are holding currently.
What you just said is the reverse. The railway minister said probably there's a sabotage, and the home minister then later clarified, home ministry, saying no, they have investigated and there's no sabotage. You see, the initial reports suggested this. Once a detailed look at the events, look at the site was there, the truth came out. As I said, this is not important. Important is the government of Modi ji going to place the right emphasis on railway security and safety or not? I can assure you, it is of utmost concern and it shall be addressed. And as I said, the 4 priority areas have been outlined. The tracks, the signaling, the anti-collision devices, the fire detection systems, the coaches themselves.
But, you know,
a lot has to go in, and
so
that's
you believe
the reason
that
why
everything
the
needs
fares
to
were
change.
raised.
Now, Mr. Mittal, everything that you are saying, incidentally, has also been captured in this report, which was, by the way, published way back in 2012. And maybe, Mr. Batra, you could take this one. The Sam Pitroda Committee. It came up with very specific recommendations, very specific solutions, many of which are also being talked about here by Sudhanshu Mittal. But then when I look at the numbers, you know, Sudhanshu wasn't willing to accept that. He said that it's about technology. But when I look at these numbers, in a specific department related to railway safety itself, sir, why is it difficult? Why is it difficult for the railways to try and figure out? Why can't you try and just have the requisite number of people at least in the safety department? I mean, that should be an elementary thing according to me, shouldn't it?
You raised one fundamental question just
and
before
one specific
this,
question.
Whether railway would ever see a completely safe environment? My answer to that is yes, we can. If we have the will, we can. We need resources. We can talk of it in due course.
Sure.
Coming to the question of vacancies, you see the history of railways specifically. In the last 50 years, railway has always had 8 to 12% vacancies in its cadre. That has never resulted in increased accidents.
So we shouldn't be looking at this figure of 1.4 lakh closely?
That
And
is
we
the
should say that
inbuilt
this figure
cushion.
of 1.4 lakh.
That is the inbuilt cushion available with the railways, and it's not only true of the railways, it's true of all government departments, I am sure of.
Sure, fair enough. Okay, so therefore, Shiv Gopal Mishra, let me put this one to you, sir. I was told that amongst those who died, 3 of those were individuals who were working with the railways itself. What is the real problem according to you, sir? Because again, I'm saying that I keep looking at all these solutions which have been talked about. There is recommendations by Dr. Anil Kakodkar committee, again given in 2012, very specific points. What could you do in terms of maintenance of tracks? What could you do in terms of maintenance of bridges? How much money you need to spend, and 50,000 crores was talked about. Ultimately, do you really believe that there is political will to bring about genuine modernization in Indian railways?
I 100% agree with the last what you have mentioned. That this country, Indian Railway, needs the real political will. And up to now, what we have seen, that instead of all promises, there had not been a willpower to uplift and upgrade the railway system.
Right.
Here I would like to just very humbly to disagree with our ex-chairman Batraji, who has tried to defend the vacancies. The vacancies in the other department, which are non-operational department, is something else.
Okay.
But here where we are running 19,500 trains every day, it is not possible that we should have so much vacancies, particularly in the safety cadre.
No, but why is it difficult?
This is overburdening
why
the
is
system.
it difficult? Why is it difficult to try and put people there?
It is difficult.
in specific
It is difficult because it is creating the stress on the working of the railmen. We don't have the maintenance staff. Each of the railway engineering gangs, which are supposed to have 18 to 20 people in each gang.
Right.
Today we are having only 10%. We are running with the 50% trackmen in our gangs. How you will complete your patrolling, how you will maintain your track, how you will check your safety items, how you will do the maintenance. These all things, one person who has been all along been the part and parcel of the railway industry, he must appreciate our viewpoint. We are always crying that these posts must be filled.
Okay.
The safety posts must be filled.
Therefore,
the training
Dr.
must be
Garg,
upgraded.
okay, Mr. Mishra, you're making the point that these posts need to be filled up. But then, Dr. Garg, am I to understand that the real problem is actually of resources? I mean, for too long, we've been told that the problem is that there is insufficient money which is being spent in infrastructure upgradation of Indian railways. Is that the real problem according to you, Mr. Garg? Dr. Garg, can you hear me? Okay.
I couldn't hear properly.
No, I was just asking you, Dr. Garg, whether the problem is of resources. Is the Indian Railways facing a crunch of resources, which is the main reason why we know the solutions but we can't implement them?
See, my point here would be that we should spend money as and when needed. For example, if a particular equipment has a life of say 50 years, then when it is used for 95%, it should be replaced. Whereas we find that sometimes due to shortage of equipment, it continues for 120%. So if the equipment continues for 120%, then there are all the possibilities that some mishap may take place.
Okay.
So we must see that before it is overaged, it should be replaced.
Therefore, Sudhanshu
Another
Mittal,
important point.
yes. Just hold on, sir. Sudhanshu Mittal. No, just a second, sir. Sudhanshu Mittal, the point being made there is that we must replace the old system. We must try and bring in, upgradation of the infrastructure. We must bring in more money. Here you have, Mr. Mittal, your Prime Minister talks about bringing in bullet trains in India, but we're still struggling with very basic infrastructure of railways in our country. How can the twain meet? How can these two things go together, Sudhanshu ji?
भूपेंद्र जी, ऐसा है the resources are required for the upgradation. There can't be a debate on that.
Right.
And that's the reason why railway fares have been increased. We've taken a bold step. Good governance requires efficiency. The viability, financial viability of railway is critical. And instead of being populist, we have chosen to be realists.
Okay.
Secondly, see, two things can go simultaneously. Multitasking is the order of the day. While what is in existence needs to be streamlined and optimized, you must also plan for the future.
Okay.
You cannot let no planning take place for your future.
Right.
The future is that you need modern railways. And so what we should do is, A, provide resources for the existing infrastructure to be augmented and be futuristic about what is next to come and bring it. So two things have to happen simultaneously.
Okay.
I just want to say one more thing.
Yes, sir.
I do not want to look at history. You know, it's very easy to apportion blame and say, look, 10 years of UPA government, ye nahi hua, wo nahi hua. Kal ki baatein chodo, kal ki baat purani.
No, because the accidents took place in BJP also. No, very good, sir. That's an optimistic way, but I'm still trying to understand whether politicians really sometimes understand. You know, because Mr. Mitra, the real problem is that in every rail budget, I always see that the respective rail minister concerned is very quick to announce new trains, new stations, new halts. When it comes to safety issues, would it be fair to say that sometimes enough attention is not given to issues related to safety, sir?
I appreciate what you are saying exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Our concern is not only facilities but safety.
Mr. Batra, okay, I was asking
while
Mr. Batra.
traveling in railways.
Okay, Mr. Batra.
You talked of political will. In fact, that is the essence of the problem. We saw it when the number of accidents were going up from 1998, 99 to 2000, 2001. And that is when a decision was taken by the government to set up a non-lapsable safety fund of 17,000 crores.
Right.
And we saw the effect of that goal-oriented, time-bound program. The number of accidents from almost 500 odd came down to now 100, more than 80% improvement.
Is it possible for us to look for 100%? Can Indian Railways really be accident-free environment?
Now is the time to take one more decision of similar nature. And aim for zero accident, and it is possible.
You believe it is possible?
It is possible.
You believe it can be done?
It can be done. When Europeans have done it, when the Japanese railways can do it, American railroads can do it, we can also do it.
So bottom line is this, we just need to ensure that there is a higher premium which is placed on human lives, because Indian Railways happens to be the world's largest railways network. But thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me on this edition
Fourth largest.
Third largest.
Fourth largest.
Fourth largest. So thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me. Number of people travel across Indian Railways. There are so many committee reports that I can read here. Anil Kakotkar report, there is a Sam Pitroda report. I just hope that there is someone in the government who also reads these reports and then identifies areas which can be worked on in a